The question today is, how are you minding your own business? Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Minding Your Own Business. I am so full of all these random thoughts and just I don't know, I'm in a mood today. And really it's just coming from hearing so many different perspectives about dating, and also I'm single too. Dating in your 30s is just a weird time to be alive, and dating post-pandemic is even weirder. So I went on a girls trip and there were some women there that I didn't know, and one of them was celebrating her birthday, and so I was like, oh my god, happy birthday, how old are you turning? And her response was, well, I'm turning 30, but technically I'm 28. I was like, wait, what? I'm confused. How is there a 2-year gap? And she was, well, because the pandemic, I lost 2 years of my life, so I'm technically 28 at heart, but I'm actually turning 30, and I don't know how I feel about this. And then that gave me reason to pause and wonder oh, does that mean I'm 31? Did I also lose 2 years of my life? How do I really feel about this? And I hadn't really thought about it before, even though I hear so many other people talk about how they lost time dating, or they just felt they had to rush into the next big thing, or they just felt they wanted to make up for lost time. And honestly, I didn't feel any of that. I don't think that any of those thoughts were going through my mind, but maybe that's just me. And so I'm really curious to hear how you guys are thinking about things, and what is in your mind. But to me, just dating in your 30s is weird, because you can also date up in age, you can date down in age, and everyone's kind of in a different place career-wise and life-wise. For the first time, it's the potential for income in your significant other can either be so much higher than you, or also a lot lower than you, depending on where you are financially. It's also that weird time in life where it's do I want to date someone with a kid? Do I not? Am I open to that? Because the reality is a lot of people in their 30s may have already had a child. Maybe they're divorced. Maybe they went through this traumatic thing. You genuinely don't know. People are old enough to have gone through their shit, right? And on the other hand, I was at dinner with a group of girlfriends, and one of the other girls was on that app, and she's like, well, I'm talking to a few guys, and we're like, oh, show us a picture. So she shows us the picture of these two guys, and we're like, they look the same. So we decided to call them Chad 1 and Chad 2. So Chad 1, unfortunately, had a very receding hairline, and Chad 2 had a full head of hair. So then, instead of Chad 1 and 2, it became Chad with the hair and Chad without the hair. And that kind of sucks to be identified by the amount of hair that you have. But I totally get it. It's just an interesting time. And when I get asked what are my parameters for do's and don'ts, and what is my type, I'm kind of well, one, I really fall for someone's mind and for someone's personality a lot faster. But optically, we're creatures that see with our eyes first, right? And I do remember going on a first date, and this man was 11 years older than me. I was 29 at the time, and he naturally was a dirty blonde, and no fault of his own between and this was back in California, so he was a surfer guy. But between being dirty blonde, being at the beach all the time, and being 11 years my senior, he was definitely graying. So I remember the day he was leaning in for that kiss, and I was like, ooh, wait, no, I can't do it. And I didn't tell him that. I just kind of bobbed and weaved, and I was like, oh, thank you, goodbye. It was great having the tacos. See you next time. But I just remember thinking nope, I can't do it. It's too gray. Weird, I'm not there yet. And then that leads me to think through how many of us feel younger than we actually are. Because I don't know about you, but I don't always feel I'm the most adult person in the room, even though 8 times out of 10 I am, and I probably have a lot of job experience too, and I hold a lot of responsibility. I'm people's go-to person, but there are definitely moments mentally where I'm oh shit, I'm grown up. I cannot just be giggling I'm 16 and super immature about the fact that I don't know what to do to get myself out of this situation. And so it was just really funny. And going back to the point of this, it's really about dating is weird, and online dating is kind of going out of style. I don't know about you, but I recently re-downloaded Bumble and Hinge, and just the tone of it's different. People automatically message and go I haven't checked this app very often, I'm really trying to get off the app, is there any way you want to hang out right away? And I really respect that. And I'm also seeing a lot of different apps fall into more of intentional dating. The app will actually set you up on a date with that person without you getting to converse with them on the app prior. You have to commit to being willing to go on a date in your local area with the person the app sets you up with based on a series of questions that they ask. There's a lot of other social clubs for singles that are popping up in the city, and coffee meetups and run clubs, because people are kind of sick of the swiping. Like, there's so many options that I think we get paralysis by analysis, and we kind of don't end up choosing anyone. Like, a lot of the girls that I know in New York who are dating multiple people at the same time because that's the dating culture there. But then they can't choose. And I am personally not a serial dater. Like, I very much, if I start to like someone, I don't really feel like talking to anyone else. And as much as I am an extrovert, I'm pretty like conservative and shy around just talking with the intention of like trying to date. Like, I don't know, I will 1000% wing woman you, but I'm not like going to hit on a guy at a bar. Like, that's just not my style, and like I'm really shy around that kind of stuff. So that's not for me. And like, yeah, I'll admit that I'm shy online. Like, I don't care. Like, for me, I'll fall for someone naturally, or if there's a really solid conversation, or if I make eyes at you across the room and I notice you looking at me too, then I'll smile and wave, and like maybe something will happen. But more often than not, I think that like dating culture is in this weird limbo right now where we're craving this human interaction, but everyone is just so burned out by the level of casuality dating has been treated as for so long that people have so many horror stories, they're not willing to put themselves out there anymore. So it's like this weird like dating fatigue that I've never seen before, and it kind of makes me sad. And maybe that's like the hopeless romantic in me talking. Definitely have watched way too many Hallmark and I don't know, rom-coms from the 80s and 90s in my life, but I really do think that like the simple joy of boy meets girl, girl meets boy, they like each other, and there's this like magic moment where you believe that like things are gonna be good, it's going away, and everyone's wondering what that other person's motives are. Who's gonna pay for the date? How many other people are you sleeping with? And are you even worth my time? Do you check everything on my box? And it makes me kind of sad to think about. And I will say, like, personally, my thoughts on the matter are be clear on what you want. And if you realize that that person isn't in alignment with what you want, then like don't waste their time and don't waste yours. And also be brave enough to have those conversations. Like, don't just ghost people. I think because we're in this like era of I can hide behind my screen, we actually are not treating people with respect and dignity. And that's causing this whole like jaded, hurt mindset around dating to occur overall, right? When I talk to my guy friends, they're always like, I can't even open a door, or I'm like getting taken advantage of. I hear so many women talk about like how they're only going on dates so that they can get free dinner. I don't even take women out to dinner anymore. It's one drink and that's it, because dating is expensive and they don't actually really want to go out with me. They just want to try the best restaurants in the city. And then I hear from my girlfriends where they're just, you know, sharing, oh, he doesn't know what he wants, or he's not ready to commit, or he doesn't have it figured out, or, you know, it's just like pulling teeth, or he's not responsive. Like, I texted him, we had plans. He didn't text me until the day we were supposed to go on our date to confirm that we were going on our date. He didn't text me all week, you know? And I'm like, well, then why did you still go out with him? And the result was, well, the sex is good. Girl, like, what? You want a boyfriend. You want a date to marry, but you're not holding this guy accountable for that kind of behavior. And because he gives it to you really good and he's the best sex you've ever had, you're going to keep him around on your roster, when the guy that is actually being intentional and texting you every day and buying you flowers on a Tuesday and like really, really caring about you, but you're not feeling sexually attracted to, is making the effort and giving you husband energy. You're not sure if you want that because you like the other guy's looks more. Like, to me, that just sounds like you don't really know what you want and you're still figuring yourself out. And if that's the case, like, don't come at me. Like, dude, do you figure you out? If you want to date multiple people, I'm not here to shame anyone, but then like admit that and don't say that you want something that you're not reflecting in your behavior. That's all I'll say. Now, I don't have it all figured out, and I'm definitely going through my own journey. And something that I've really learned by talking to my married friends is, at the end of the day, actions will speak louder than words. And when you are in a relationship or the potential of one, the person on both sides need to be reciprocal with their actions. So if you're putting in all these efforts to talk to him and initiating every conversation and making the plans all the time, and you take a step back and realize that, let him plan the next date. Wait to see if he texts you first. Wait to see how many days it takes for him to get back to you. And if he's not putting in that same energy that you normally put on a daily basis, as you pull back, if you do not see the same energy, then that's a sign that he may not be as into you as you are into him. Also, I think like at the end of the day, it's not just about someone being hot or having a job that can pay for the lifestyle that you want to have with them. It's really about, can I get along with their personality? Meaning like, can I just be around you? Do we have similar sense of humor? Do we have the same idea of what fun looks like? Do we have a similar way of chilling? And if we don't have those similarities, am I cool with you being you and doing you? And are you cool with me doing me too? Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to go with someone on a hike and climb a mountain for an entire Saturday. That is not my idea of fun. I'm not going to sit and watch college football all day either, right? Those are just not my things. I can't ski. I will sprain my ankle. I'm too clumsy. I don't have any interest in doing that. So if you want to date me, you got to know that I'll be your biggest cheerleader. I will 1000% show up to the football game for the snacks, and I will distract you during the game, and I will not climb a mountain without the promise of brunch and a beautiful view at the end. Like, that's just who I am, and I'm okay with that, and I let people know that. But right, if my partner loves to do those things and he's always doing that, and we can't have any like fun together, and I don't get to see him because he's always into that, then that's also a problem, because like long term we're gonna have different ways of what we like to do on our free time, and then that doesn't work because we grow apart. So I think personality and what you like to do for fun are really important. I also think values are really important. Thing to look at is, do you align with how and what is important to you in the world? Like how you do things and what's important to you. Family values are really important. How, for me, it's really important, your growth mindset. So are you looking forward, and are you clear on where you want to go in your life? Are you someone that's always growing? Are you open to growth? What are you doing to better yourself? And are you aware of the things that you want to do differently in the future? That's really important. Also, family, right? Everyone has different family dynamics. If someone's not close to their family, that's great. Are you okay with that? Like, if you're super close to your family, your partner is not going to relate as much if you don't explain those dynamics to them, or if they're not close to their family and they don't understand like why you talk to your mom 3 times a day, right? Because they just can't relate. So it's either like that relatedness or those conversations around values and what our priorities are going to be as a couple and separately, because you don't have to necessarily align completely, but you have to be clear on where that other person stands, and if you're willing to do the work to at least understand and empathize and be willing to really work together to like blend those two opinions inside of things. And then last but not least, I think it's important to like go through things together. I don't think that like you can really test a relationship until you've had enough time to understand how that person processes and how that person like deals with conflict and like their hard emotions, because we are all different and we all have different traumas. So if, you know, I shut down and I don't want to talk, and I'm not someone that likes to yell and argue, and you also shut down and don't want to talk and argue, then no one's going to have critical conversations, and we have a lot of avoidance, and that's not healthy. So like, are we aware of that? Can we talk about that? And how do we deal with that, right? And I think that's important. And then just like knowing where you want to go in your life, what your goals are. If someone wants to like have kids and live in their hometown and, you know, have a certain type of lifestyle, and someone else is like, hey, I'm really a city person, or I love to travel and I want to be a digital nomad. Those two lifestyles don't align. Are you willing to compromise? Is it a deal breaker? How are we going to do this to make sure that like our lives and our future are going to align on those things? And I think those conversations are important to have early on. But even then, like, there's a balance between having them early on and also going on a first date on Hinge and like throwing that all out on someone. You know, I think that first step is like focus on their personality, have fun on the first date, really showcase who you are, be interesting, like, and be yourself. And then in the next like 2-3 months, like start to suss out the rest of that and like what that looks like. And I'm only sharing like what I have done that has worked for me, and like sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes I stay in things longer than I should, but in between all of that, I'm really clear that personality, goals, and values and like how we deal with our feelings really impact the quality of the relationship. And also, if you don't feel like you're ready to date, then like don't. Like, I for a long time did not feel ready to date and I had no interest in it. So then I didn't. And it's honestly been the best thing that I could have done for myself. And then I go through periods where I do and I don't. But I also feel like when you meet your person, because you're working on you, you're going to find the right person that aligns with who you're striving to be, because you're really doing your best work on yourself. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be in a relationship with you. So don't you want to be the best partner for them? That's how I think about it. So anyway, that's my long story short on the dating thing. If you guys want to hear dating horror stories or you have one that you want to share, like, please feel free to. Really want to hear more. And stay tuned for next Tuesday. And thanks for tuning in. Cheers.